All right.
Bring him in.
Oh, he's right there.
Gino went outside. What are you doing? Close the door and
Gino. There's Gene.
Hello, gentlemen, and I use the term lightly.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's going to hurt us. That's not good.
I don't really
What's
consider
about to
myself a
happen is gonna hurt you
gentleman.
badly.
The great Gene Simmons. How are you, sir?
You know, I'm deliriously happy, I'm sure you can tell.
Yes. Why are you happy?
I get to be me another day. How about you?
I'm happy to be me.
Yes,
We're
that's
happy
true.
just to be near
So
you.
what's all this trash I hear talking about when I'm not here? You know, the cowardly thing to do. Why don't you just say it to my face?
Which thing?
Something about I don't care about Kiss fans and all this stuff. Because, you know, I have eyes and ears.
Ooh.
No, I think we took a call or two.
Yes, and?
And they think that you might market the Kiss stuff a little too much.
Good, and their choice living in the capitalist system is don't buy it.
Why are you looking at me?
Because we work here. Don't be a whining bitch. You know, if you don't like what's going on, switch the channel. Don't buy it. Somebody can complain all they want about anything, but the power of the purse is the biggest power. Somebody doesn't like something.
Some people though would say that isn't always the case. That there's some kind of a loyalty or
they're not qualified to make that assessment.
Brand dignity or things like that.
Says who?
I'm just saying
you
there
have
are
to consider. No, you have to consider the source. Everybody's got an opinion, and everybody's opinion is worth one opinion. By the way, this content that you're videoing is for whom?
For the website.
Is that okay,
Would you like
Gene?
to ask him first?
Wait, hold on. This is the second time Gene's been in, and the first time he was in, he asked if somebody would ask him, and then how come we're filming, like, at least without the courtesy of asking the second time?
See that? Now you know why he was on my roast and you weren't.
Oh,
But no, for real. Like, it's like that would save us the...
Somebody is supposed to clear.
It's common
not
courtesy.
me, but
Okay.
Yeah, I
somebody
know.
out there.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
that's not somebody. It's like when you before you
I'm
stick
not a
it in-
lawyer.
Yeah, before you stick it in, you say, "May I?"
Would you mind if we videoed you?
I
this
don't.
interview?
I would
Thank you
consider
very
it an
much.
honor. Now, how come? Look, how come you've got a little one here? What's the?
I eat a lot
Jimmy's
during the
banana.
show, yeah.
And of course, he's got a little pussy in his lap, which I'm sure you've already done 10 jokes about that.
No, actually, we've sworn off pussy jokes because we thought they were kind of, you know, hacky.
Because you're tired of paying the FCC money.
No, over here, would you say, you know,
You can say whatever the hell you want.
It's called a pussy, not a cunt.
Right.
So we can pretty much say whatever we want.
Yeah.
You're hurting me.
Yes.
So, isn't it a fantastic book?
Well, not yes, and I want to know a little bit
Not
about
yes.
this.
Not yes.
No, not yes.
That's what you said.
Not
Did
yes.
Yeah. Well, let me describe
Well,
it.
yes, but I also have a few questions.
Well, let me tell you about the book first, because that's more important.
All
Here's
right.
a book called Ladies of the Night, written by my favorite person, Gene Simmons. It's a historic or historical, take your pick, overview of the oldest profession in the world. It is a coffee table book in the sense that you can put it on your coffee table and everybody will have lots to say about it. Gold tipped, gold trim. I mean, it's really a high-end book, very much sort of an art house book. And the reason for that is I think the oldest profession in the world hasn't gotten a fair shake, as it were. From the courtesans of Europe's Renaissance period to the geishas of Japan to even the New Testament and Mary Magdalene, this has been a time-honored tradition and has been relegated to the dark side. If you go to page 52, I'll show you something astonishing.
Oh, it looks like a
Turn to page
workbook.
52. This is
This is
like,
fun.
you know, yeah, this is psalm and verse.
Page
What's amazing is when you go to
52.
Page 52.
when you go to
yeah.
page 52, you'll see when you entered the brothels of Rome, you actually used those coins.
Ooh.
Describe them.
Well, I see sexual positions.
That's right.
On the coins with various Roman numeral denominations.
That's exactly what it was. And so you'd go into the brothels of Rome and you'd give them the equivalent of the denomination. And you'd give them either your slave or fur skin or whatever it was that you exchanged for it. They would give you these coins that were only good in the houses of ill repute. And then on the other side, because most of the masses were illiterate, it actually depicted what it was you were buying.
Oh, so that's obviously a blowjob.
Doggy style.
And
and
there,
all the rest.
doggy.
Yeah.
And this one, I don't know what that. What the fuck is that one? Looks like it's just kind of holding her ass.
That was a Passover dinner.
You're cordially invited.
They don't let you talk?
Oh, no, I've just been enjoying this cat very much.
Jimmy is
Cat jumped up on my lap.
a cat lover.
Did you have a good time at the roast?
I really did. It was great.
Yeah. Boy, they drilled me a new asshole.
Yeah, that's what the roasts are all about. I hear Jimmy did very well, though.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good.
Gene sent me a very nice Christmas gift too. It was
Really?
Yeah, it was an iPod Tower.
Yeah.
And a handwritten note. It was really great. I meant to thank you for that.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it. You're gonna leave them nothing to talk about.
Say
That
anything like
asshole's a money grubbing son of a So you're right. We just,
money grubbing son of a.
you're right. We just came back from the European leg of our world tour. Played 30 stadiums and arenas, from Stockholm Stadium, which sold out in 20 minutes, and Helsinki and everything else. And we're only doing 4 shows in America. One at the foot of Mount Rushmore, August 4th, for hundreds of thousands of people, literally. It's Sturgis, the bike rally. They're going to have 400,000 to 500,000 people there. And we're going to literally inform the local airports, it's not even a joke, to keep their low-flying planes away from the area, because our fireworks are hundreds of feet high into the air. So it's dangerous for
don't want
low
any
flights. You can
mishaps.
imagine, and we'll play some songs.
Yeah, well, I would hope so. If people are going to see Kiss, that they
but
would
if
want
it's
to
just
see.
some guy going, here's my second song, is an acoustic version, get out of here. Blow some stuff up.
You want the whole thing?
Yeah,
the
blow some
whole
stuff
show.
up. Yeah.
Only 4 shows though in the States, huh?
Yeah, because we don't have time. Paul's doing some art show stuff. His artwork is really exploding. We've got our 4th season of Gene Simmons' Family Jewels that we
course.
start filming in August. 3rd season of 34 new episodes is running now, and I started another television show, which I can't talk about except to say that, which will be finished by the end of August. And the IndyCar series is running, and as you know, our Simmons Abramson Marketing does the branding marketing for the IndyCar series, including the Indy 500. And just an awful lot of stuff. And Ladies of the Night.
Yes.
My newest book. The other 2, by the way, were New York Times and LA Times bestsellers.
I have to ask you, what type of research did you do on this?
You know what? Sorry, is it for me?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, go on. No, go ahead. Take it. I don't want to interrupt anything.
Go ahead.
No, come on, please. Take it. Who's it from? We're all dying to know.
It's
It
probably
wasn't a sound effect for me. No,
our
come on,
old
who
boss.
was it? He's not the boss?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Our old boss isn't with us anymore.
Yeah.
Just left yesterday.
So what it was we've all kind of been fascinated by the whole thing. Here I am playing with Jim's banana.
Yeah, he loves
You
it.
can have it.
Yeah, been used. The idea has always fascinated me, and because America's a remnant of the Puritan ethic,
Yeah.
I think it's been relegated to the shadows. When the truth is, from Spitzer all the way down to the lowest crack whore, there is that business that goes on. And it seems to me in Europe they have less of a problem with it, because when Mitterrand, the head of France, at the time passed away, not only did his wife show up at his funeral, but also his mistresses, and nobody batted an eyelash. And so I think what I'd like to do is to engage people in the conversation. I'm not an advocacy group. This is more a historical overview. but
That's just it. It's a historical overview. How did you research for it? Did you just decide?
Well,
is this knowledge you had, or did you have to kind of?
I'm fairly well read, but you do have to refer to the internet, and libraries are a godsend as far as I'm concerned. They're the house of God. Julie McCarran, who works at Phoenix, my co-venture partner for Simmons Books, did almost all the research. That includes scouring the museums of Europe and Asia and so on and so forth. It's too easy to look at the Kama Sutra and take all the sexual positions, because this book ain't about sex. It's about women throughout history who decided to empower themselves, whether society agreed with them or not. And it came to such a high art and a high position of society, is that by the time of the Renaissance period in Europe, you actually had women who were walking around the courts of Europe and actually not making noise while I'm talking, like this guy's on the side going like...
Danny was typing.
Danny was looking something up on the internet.
Why are you so uptight?
No,
I just want to control everything.
It's just a keyboard.
I know, but just a keyboard to you means he's getting in the way of me.
He's looking up stuff for the show.
Okay.
He's not like checking his email.
Flies
Why are
buzzing
you
around your head
uptight?
don't bother me. They bother me. I don't.
Noises bother you?
Well,
Does that really bother you?
at that point, I was trying to gather my thoughts, and that That thing right there, I think that made me wander a little bit. Well, how come you don't do that when he's talking? Go ahead.
I certainly do.
Oh my God! All sorts of stuff happens.
Well,
while
you
we're
let
trying to
him.
do the show.
My
yeah,
dogs.
It doesn't bother
The
us.
dogs at my home don't bark because they're not allowed to. You allow them to shit on your carpet. That's your thing.
I've spent a lot on prostitutes. I've done a lot of it in my life. I love it.
I have not. I have not spent a dime on prostitutes, but the business model is wrong.
Why haven't you spent a dime on prostitutes?
Because they refuse to pay me.
That's a very egotistical way to think about it.
I'm the one providing the service. I'm the one with the spin and dry cycle. I'm the one that has the ability to whip up a good goddamn froth. They don't have to do anything. There's no such thing as a bad female lover.
See, but you're Gene Simmons from Kiss, so it was probably pretty easy to go out and get laid. I think a lot of guys can't go out there and get laid, so the girl is performing the service.
I do understand what you said, but you asked me. You didn't ask Jerry Wombat from REO Speedwagon. You said, Gene,
are you saying that he has used prostitutes?
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying that.
Of course not.
Jerry Wombat.
That'd be a nice little lawsuit.
No, of course not.
Because you guys have never been sued.
But let me think. Yeah, there was one time.
Sure.
Yeah, it happens. When you're in the public eye, that's bound to happen.
I guess. But I don't care, you know. This morning we did CBS and CW, which used to be called PIX.
Yes.
And I will tell you that the phones are off the hook. People have all sorts of things to say, obviously some pro, some con. And I think that's okay. The idea that you can engage in the conversation. See, I think Amsterdam has got it right. I think that the Scandinavian countries have it right because there are sections in town that you can go to if you want to avail yourself of those services. They go through clinical sort of tests to make sure they're healthy. They're taxed, right? And so the criminal element and the drugs are at a minimum. Whereas in this country, you know, they try to do the same thing with drinking. I've never been drunk or high in my life, but I don't want to prevent you from doing that if that's what you want to do. And when Prohibition came in, the government actually tried to stop it. And as soon as that happened, the criminal element came into it, and you had murders, an entire underground business entity. The criminal element in America got started in America, grabbed a toehold with alcohol, and then it went into drugs and everything else. And I think the government should get into the prostitution business.
They should run on that platform.
Limit it, and I think that's going to take decades and decades. My God, gay rights are just coming into the fore now, but it is pop culture's responsibility to address the issue in song, in movies, and everything else.
Where does that stop, though, with drugs and then, like alcohol, obviously prohibition, and then drugs and then prostitution?
Well,
where does it stop as far as the government becoming pimps, pretty much?
No, a pimp is going out and getting your stuff. The government has laws that prohibit, for instance, the press from using slander. There are laws, guidelines. Otherwise, you have freedom of the press. Nobody forces you to buy the newspaper, but you're not allowed under the freedom, like expressing yourself, freedom of speech and freedom of press, to get up and yell fire just because you want that. That's not freedom of expression. That's incitement to riot. So within certain guidelines, the government does have a responsibility and should be in charge of, this is a business, it's earned income, where are the taxes, and what are the rules of this business? Otherwise, it's consenting adults behind closed doors.
People might argue that would, I don't know, kind of bring the downfall of the family. You
know, that's a good point. But lest we kid ourselves, it exists today. The difference is that the families, I don't think it would change anything, in fact. What I think it would do is it would empower the women who choose that lifestyle to lead a healthier life and not be victims of the pimps and the crack, and the crack and all the rest of that.
That's interesting. You said the empower again. You see women that are prostitutes as being empowered?
To the extent that they have a choice in picking their lifestyle, yes, they should be. Because that should be a choice. If I want to be a sadomasochistic love slave, why should society have anything to say about that just because it doesn't agree with somebody else's lifestyle? It's only now that gay men and gay women are even having the ability to express their different lifestyles. At the end of the day, what I want for myself shouldn't be anybody's business. And then what you and I, as a matter of fact, both you guys, if Opie and Anthony wanted to get inside my place and tie me up, but that's another story. If we all engage in consensual adult behavior, what's
an offer?
You got some fantasies there,
Right.
I've heard about you guys. I know about you.
Yeah.
How have you stayed semi-good friends over these years?
Oh no, let me think. We're really not friends. We're just coworkers. No, I'm kidding.
This is a business now. Sure.
This is like, Kiss.
This is a good business. I'm sure you're not hanging out with Paul Stanley when you're not on stage.
Everybody frowns.
We don't hang out when we're not doing this.
They frown until 5:59. Yeah. Smile till 11 and frown at 11:01.
That's right. Well, it's been a long time.
Yeah,
We have very different lives right now.
Here's what it is. Look, you got. I'm watching.
Is that okay that he's making noise?
Absolutely not.
Jesus Christ.
He doesn't do that at home.
Jimmy needed his food, though.
Certain aspects of prostitution are kind of loud, like dominatrix stuff.
That's a comic book I published in Simmons Comics, and I own that trademark, dominatrix.
Really?
What's the trademark for it?
The trademark? You mean the application?
Or with the picture? I'm thinking like the money bag with the thing.
Moneybag logo is the trademark for the comics group, Simmons Comics Group. But actually, the title Dominatrix, as in Dominatrix Comics, and the word as applied to the superheroine I own.
Jesus, how'd you get that one?
Jesus, I don't own yet.
But how'd you get dominatrix done?
Well, what you do is in the trademark laws, it's not that you can own a word. You can own a word as it applies to a specific product and as expressed in interstate commerce. That sort of means the word, footsie. You play footsie with somebody. Well, you can't really own the word footsie because the trademark office would say, well, what do you mean you want to own footsie? Well, I want to own the name. Okay, so if I put together a T-shirt, and first I have to do a little bit of research, find out nobody else owns it, and then if I make a public statement to the government and the commerce world, as in commercial, I intend to own this word footsie as applied to schmatas, which is T-shirts and so on, or paper goods like posters. Those are different areas in these United States. Then I have to engage in interstate commerce. It means I sell one to New York, my grandmother buys it, and then you start to get dibs. You start to get ownership of that word. And I own the money bag logo. And you can actually bend the will of the government and make it do your work. Like right now, what happened right now was a much quieter and calmer assistant. You see the way that works? And because of that, he gets a little pat on the hand. He doesn't bother me. I don't bother him.
Danny, you all right?
Why?
It works out.
Danny's a little...
He just said, fuck the Jew. That's
cool.
what he just said.
You all right, Danny?
Oh, yeah.
You like when Gene touches your hand
it was
like
very
that?
calming.
It was very calming to me also not to have this.
Do you got OCD with the noises or what?
PSIRT
What?
What's PSOT? What's that?
OCD, obsessive compulsive. Like, do noise get to you?
Not really.
I think he was trying to make a point, and then that was
because
a little distracting.
I remember the last
That's
time
the
he
word.
was in here, he was bothered by some of the noises that went on in the studio as well.
Well, I just find it bizarre that when you're interviewing people, there's stuff going on. Like, spilled water. Well, what's the matter with things? It's just noise. No. It doesn't have to be noise.
Get a paper towel. Someone.
I think Gene just likes hearing
now you're whining.
pure Gene.
Huh?
Like, I think Gene just likes hearing pure Gene.
Well, that's
You don't
true.
want to hear, like, other noises in there when you're trying to hear just Gene.
Like when you guys are on, you just want to hear pure Opie and Anthony.
Yeah,
No, not really.
some days.
We kind of like the
come you don't-
noises. We like the noises in the background. What are you looking for, you rock?
It's just water.
You spilled it on my copy of the book. Give me one.
eBay.
And now
There it
eBay,
is.
you can say that's water that Gene Simmons spilled.
It's water under the bridge.
And make sure Gene gets his cut.
What's the truth in the rumor that I heard about you franchising out Kiss? looking for younger replacements to go out under the Kiss name,
That's the
endorsed
TV
by
show.
Endorsed by you.
Right. That's
Well,
the TV show that he
Okay,
can't talk
so
about.
so the truth is that there are always, every week, night and day, year in, year out, always interesting conversations going on. But until something is real, it's not.
Okay.
So there are conversations being held about all sorts of issues, and that's one of them.
That's one of them?
Sure.
You
Any-
would sanction. I'm not saying whether this happens or not, but hypothetically, let's say
Yeah.
this is something that is real. You would sanction another Kiss that is made up of people that are maybe lookalikes, sound-alikes.
No, I wouldn't do that. I would sanction 100 other kisses.
Oh my God!
Should I get that or just hang myself now?
Oopsie, my phone made a noise.
Oh God! Opie, you
My
are.
God.
Oopsie.
Yeah, I'd get another 100.
100. So you would be able to foresee 100 Kiss bands out touring the globe
Why not?
constantly.
Why not?
That would
And-
be cover bands, though, wouldn't it?
Well,
And they're out there already, no?
So what does a band... Look, if the Stones go out and do their old songs, which is what they do, or McCartney, or we do, or if U2 goes out, they're going to play old songs. What are they doing except
Playing old
covering
songs.
the old songs?
Would you go after, or have you gone after tribute bands? Because there are a lot of
Yes.
Kiss tribute bands out there.
Yes, we have, but only the ones we think are acting inappropriately. Otherwise, they all act with the proviso that we own all underlying rights, makeup issues, and so on, and can stop them, cease and desist them, or sue their asses straight to hell at any point.
At any given
so
moment.
they exist at our behest.
Is that almost like a threat?
This is a test, right?
Test of the emergency broadcast system.
No, honestly, you do this when you're on. You actually get bells and whistles and answer emails and phones while you're on the air. I'd hang
Well, you
myself.
know, it's-
Gene,
it's a
I am
test.
trying to conduct an
It's
interview.
show prep. It's coming in, you know. Oops, my phone made another noise.
I am trying to conduct an interview.
Who's playing now? It's you and Paul and Tommy Thayer's on guitar. And is Peter playing drums?
Eric Singer. Peter hasn't been in the band for many years, and both Eric... How much money do you want for me to throw that fucking thing out the window? Come on, tell me that we can take. Let's take a vote. The next 5 listeners who vote in, throw the fucking thing out the window or
The
let it
next
keep
five.
beeping.
Who do you think is sending me messages?
The fucking listeners.
I want
Gene.
5 votes. Throw the thing out the
going
window
back to
or
let's
yeah.
go back to the franchise thing because
No, Eric is playing. Eric Singer's on drums. Tommy Thayer's on guitar. And
why not the other guys?
Because
You don't need them anymore?
I love them to death, but Ace and Peter don't belong on the road. They're just not healthy enough. You know, we're doing 2.5-hour shows, longer than ever. They're happier. We love them to death. They were equally as important as anybody else in putting the band together, but some people shouldn't be on the road. They are suicidal.
Right.
I'm quoting Ace and Peter. They would kill themselves on the road.
Really?
The franchise thing is very interesting because it's something we've brought up in the past that, you know, there's a lot of bands that are losing their members all the time, and eventually the original members will be gone, and the band could continue.
Well,
So with this whole franchise idea of yours is not too far-fetched.
it doesn't matter if it's far-fetched or not. At the end of the day, no matter what anybody says, either it works or it doesn't work. With Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer, we're playing to the biggest audiences we've ever played to in Europe. Helsinki Stadium sold out in, what was it, 9 minutes. The second one sold out in 7 minutes. Stockholm Stadium sold out in 20 minutes. These are huge. The last show was in Brussels, I believe. 80,000 people. Not a word, not a sign. Where's Ace? No Peter. Nothing.
But
you know, when I go see the Stones, I don't go to the, where's Brian Jones? Because if it's long enough, you accept that's the guy in the band.
But Gene, that's what the point I'm making. So then you move to the next stage. Let's say you're too busy with your TV show, so now you have to bail out. Now it's down to Paul Stanley.
Right.
And then let's say Paul, his art starts taking off. Now you got 4 members that had nothing to do with the original lineup, and Kiss continues.
It can.
I believe that's what's going to happen with.
Well, it doesn't
a lot
matter
of these
what
bands.
anybody believes, wants, or doesn't want.
But you can be the first one and show the way because there's a lot of bands heading that way.
And also, being the first or last doesn't concern me. It's never been about proving anything to anybody. The only thing I'm concerned with is, 1, giving people bang for the buck. Otherwise, throw all rules out the window. This is rock and roll, baby. The rules are for symphony orchestras. This is the way Rachmaninoff wrote it. This is the slow part. And when musicians pick up the violin and the cellos and so on, they're not allowed to change a single note. How dare you dictate rules to me? I thought we all picked up guitar, never learned how to play guitar, never studied music theory. We can't read or write music, and you're telling me about rules. Get out of here. So who made up these rules? There are no rules. All I care about is, and you have the choice, you have the ultimate power. You can come, or you can not come. Other than that, don't tell me about rules.
So you wouldn't feel bad if maybe one of these KISS franchises decided to change some of the songs around?
They can't.
but there's no rules.
There's rules in this contract.
they're your rules.
I believe in Branson's benevolent dictatorship. I believe in the benevolent dictatorship as long as I'm the benevolent dictator.
It would be a franchise. I mean, you can't own a McDonald's and change the recipes around.
Nobody wants to hear some asshole's interpretation of Strutter.
No reggae versions of Black Diamond.
No.
No.
Well, it's an interesting concept.
Although I'd be open to it. By the way, if some reggae guys we're going to Reggae Town and we're going to do it with the dregs and the makeup. Interesting. Let me hear it. And if it sounds okay, and if Paul thinks it's okay, sure, you let it out.
Hey, what about?
And if not, you just blew your chance. Get out the fucking door.
That's right.
What New York show are you doing? If you're doing 4 in the States, 1 at Rushmore, are you doing something in New York?
We're doing 3. 1 at the Palms in Las Vegas because we're friends of those guys. And it's not far from where the equipment is and stuff like that. 1 is at a casino where they're just paying hideous dollars. And the other one is close by and also has to do with hideous dollars. And don't kid yourself. Any band, we're a people's band. Trust me, they're like you and I. When the number is high enough and it's hideous amounts of money, it's millions, you just want to go there and crush that fucking little bell ringing thing.
Who's
Oops, I thought I turned it off.
Who's calling now?
No, you didn't. I'm sorry, I forgot to say bitch. How come yours doesn't do that?
Well, I put it on silent when I'm trying to conduct an interview that way.
And your partner?
That way.
I thought it was on silent, but I'm dumb.
I'm not my brother's keeper.
Yeah, see.
So he...
Let's go to the phones.
He does.
You want to take a few phone calls, Gene?
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about Ladies of the Night, right?
Yes.
The new book by Gene Simmons.
Yes.
By the way, I'll be doing a signing.
Where's
For
the
those
signing?
of you that want to come by, see it, we're going to be at Barnes & Noble.
Oh! All right, now I know what you're talking about. You said to confront you.
Okay.
This is the problem we had. Jimmy didn't agree, by the way. I want to keep him out of this.
Okay.
So you're doing a book signing,
You got
right?
a rustle paper? Now I'm going to kill myself. Give me a sharp object. Why don't you rustle it outside?
Gene,
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
said that you have people...
He's talking.
Steve, you are talking. What are you saying?
I thought I was on the air.
What are you saying?
I was about to just...
Hold on, you're talking to a non-on mic.
Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Why don't you just grab jeans out of his hand?
Okay.
Right here. Go ahead.
I will. No, this one works
Yes,
fine.
fast forward, yes.
I was going to make sure that if you took a phone call, Gene was wearing headphones, because
Okay.
otherwise he wasn't going to hear them. That's all.
All right. Now, we're not taking headphones at
Here's
that
the way I
moment.
do it in sign
By the way,
language.
he's going to lose his fucking mind when he sees that the headphones we gave him are broken.
No, I
That's
like it.
wonderful.
No, I like it. I'm fine.
All right, Gene, seriously.
There's nothing here,
Because
though.
you came in and... No, we're not on the phones yet. Now,
Okay.
you came in and you said you have people that have ears, and I was confused because I was trying to remember what we said that was bad.
Barnes & Noble.
And I'll tell you what it was. You got a lot of hardcore KISS fans, and they're going to go and pick up your book, right?
Right.
But we heard there's a rule that you will only sign the book, and
Correct.
I kind of have a problem with that.
That don't come.
Yeah, but well, I'm not going to be there, but I'm talking for the KISS fans. These guys, there's a lot of guys that are this is their only chance to ever see you.
They don't have a clue how the world works.
But how about this? You can only get online if you buy a book at Barnes & Noble, but you still will sign something. I understand you don't want to sign 18 things per person.
If there's a question coming, I'm dying to hear it. Otherwise, it's a speech, in which case I'll listen. Do I have a chance to respond to it? No, I'm trying to help you.
I'm talking for the KISS fans because
what's the question?
Why won't you sign other things?
It's a fair question, and here's the answer. The way business works is there's an entity called Barnes & Noble. Now, their agenda is they don't care if you're a KISS fan or that I'm Gene Simmons and KISS.
Right.
They're in business to pay their employees and their rent and so on by selling books.
Sure.
They make a deal with my publishing company and Phoenix Books to do a signing. In return for me signing the books, they'll stock it, order it, make a lot of business. The reason they don't want you to bring your KISS stuff to the event is they want to sell books. They don't want me to sign KISS stuff because then they won't sell books.
All right, you don't.
These are their rules. But I am a guest at their house, and I abide by their rules.
But I did have another question there. Like, let's say you get online because you bought a book that day at that bookstore. What's the problem with signing something else at that point? Because they're making their money at that point.
You know, the truth is, if you canvass your readers, I sign stuff all the time and have for 35 years. If you run into me at an airport, I have no problem with it. I consider it an honor and a privilege. At the end of the day, it's the fans who made me who I am. You know, without you, I'm nothing isn't something I say. But I will determine when and if my proper behavior is. It's not going to be up to some disgruntled fan who believes he's entitled to something that he believes is right. The answer is no. That's a word that's just as valid as yes. Sometimes you'll get a yes, and sometimes you'll get a no. And sometimes I won't explain myself. You're in the house of Barnes & Noble. These are the rules. Also, when you go into a library, you have to shut the fuck up. Why? I have something to say. I know you do. I know you feel entitled, but in this room, these are the rules. You will shut the fuck up because you're in a library. These are the rules of the house of the library. When you go to Barnes & Noble, I love you guys. I'm thrilled that you're coming, but they're there to make sure you buy Ladies of the Night,
right?
Books.
Sure.
They don't care that you're KISS fans. I do, but not there.
That was actually somebody's answer to that question yesterday.
Was it? Jim Norton's.
Yeah, let it be known.
Jimmy Norton said that.
No, but I figured it was probably a bookstore.
Give that man a banana.
No, but it's...
Yeah, I mean, why should they allow other people show up, sign my ass, sign my this? By the way, I'm not at all opposed to shining breasts.
Jimmy did a book signing. Okay. Jimmy did a book signing, and he signed everything that day. Everything.
But they know the people. They probably didn't think I had anything else to sign. They probably didn't think they had to ask me that. When they figured they're gonna have 30 years worth of merch to show up. You know, with me, what do I have?
The other thing is that you've got the vultures and the scavengers, we call them. We know who they are. They know every single stop I make. They know when I get at the airport, when I go to CBS, they're right there. And there's a horde of them. There's about 100 that show up at any given time.
Very familiar faces.
Some are new, some are old. They use
you
their
recognize
children.
a lot of them, right?
Some.
Yeah, okay.
They'll use their children, their grandmothers. They'll appeal to you as a person. Come on, Gene, I've been a fan for 30 years. We know who they are. And they'll come with these backpacks filled with stuff. And then when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar walks in, he'll be there stuff. These are the eBay guys.
Right.
And I may or may not have a problem with you selling that stuff on eBay. I want to be asked. See? And if you pretend to be something you're not, it's an insult to me. And the answer is no. I won't even talk to these guys.
So if somebody says, could you sign this so I can put it on eBay, you'll say no.
I may say yes if I agree to it. You know, you walk up to a beautiful girl, you take your cock out and say, let's fuck. She will snip it off. However, if you take her to dinner and you act nice and so at the end of the day, you will fuck her.
Especially if you take your cock out and drive her far enough away and say, look, here's your options. You pop this into your mouth or you fucking hitchhike. I mean, that's probably not where you were going with that. I sort of meant to say that, but I didn't use those charming phrases. But really, it's about my okay. Mm-hmm. If I'm okay with it, all kinds of behavior is okay. If you expect me to, if you try to hoodwink me and try to do that, it's an insult.
Why do people...
Condi Rice.
Why do people...
Yeah. Stockholm.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Kiss fan?
We hung out. Yes, matter of fact, we got along terrifically.
That is very surprising.
Why?
Condoleezza Rice is a Kiss fan. Because being a
black.
Stuffy... No, being a kind of the stuffy Republican kind of Bush administration thing, you wouldn't think...
And primitive of you to, to throw a blanket by saying, Republican. That
I'm
means
a Republican too. I am. I just consider her,
Not at all. She's very loose.
Oh. Why do you think people see you in this light where you're abrasive to some people? You come off like
why? Just listen.
The whole money question is a bad thing to ask? Why do you think so many people do address you with that
respectfully, it's
question?
not my problem. It's theirs.
Oh, I know. Well, whatever it is, why do you think it's like the word sell out, the word, my God, he'll sue, he'll do this, he'll pump out more Kiss merchandise than, anyone should possibly
that's
be able to.
That's a compliment.
But people have such a problem with it. Why do you think that is?
Because
what's your opinion that why they have a problem like that?
They're losers.
Really?
Yeah. In other words, if you're in the peanut gallery and you haven't done anything with your life and you don't agree with the way Donald Trump or Richard Branson run their business, you'll have all sorts of things to say. But these people aren't looking over their shoulders or tugging at your shirt sleeves to find out if it's okay to be entrepreneurial and successful. My life's an open book. I am who I am. I've strictly disavowed drugs, booze, alcohol. Anybody uses them, not interested in having a discussion with you. Really, I'm not.
But oh boy, I got to leave. He's got to go home early.
See that?
I got to cut out now.
Yeah.
Just
no, I like a little wine every so
just because he
often.
drinks, you can't talk to him?
I like a little wine every so often.
When he's straight, sure.
When they're drunk, talking
of course, there's no reason.
Drunk people are very obnoxious to talk to.
I'm with you on that one, Gene.
And when anybody wants to criticize me about what I've done, my decisions, by the way, that's fair. All I ask is, what's the qualification of your criticism? Who are you? What have you done? So if I sit here and I go, you're not doing a good job, the question might be, as a retort, although I'm not retorted, is, what's your qualification for asking that question? Because everybody, I just have an opinion. You know, this studio sucks. Based on what? What studio have you designed? So everybody's got an opinion. They think there's self-entitlement. I don't recognize their criticism because they're unqualified to make it, if you see what I mean. If Branson walks up to me and says, I think your business model is faulty, I'd be curious. I'd love to hear why, because he's a qualified guy.
He's qualified, absolutely.
That's correct.
So with that said, what do you think of bloggers and message boards in general that might trash you? Does that get to you at all as a human being?
I'm happy they even talk about me. You're not going to be liked by everybody. Not everybody's crazy about Christ either. Everybody's got something to say about something, and that's okay. I pay attention to the people who are qualified. When they criticize me, I go, I better listen to this because this is an important person. Now, the masses as a whole, when you put all those unqualified opinions together and they speak as a whole, and it's pretty much unanimous, like overall, then you have to listen because there's something going on that affects everybody. But just because a few fans call Opie and Anthony and say he's a sellout, he's a this, gee, I hope we sell out. I hope we sell out every fucking night.
You know, he makes a valid point. What am I going to say?
You make a great point about the message boards and the bloggers.
They're not qualified.
Right. Because
what the internet has done is given people who would otherwise be asking you if you'd like some fries with that and made them more important than they ever should be.
They're actually quoted on the news.
They're nobody.
Is
and
remarkable.
They should stay nobody until they take life by the scruff of its neck, self-educate themselves, start doing better at work, put down that beer and stop dipping those chips in front of the game, go out there and become an entrepreneur and actually achieve something and start making more money. And the more money you make and the higher you get in society, the more your opinion will count. The more I'd be curious to hear what your opinion is. And the lower you are on the rungs of success, the less I'm interested in your opinion because you're not qualified to have one.
When's going to be enough for Gene? Like obviously you're a very wealthy man. You have a lot of different industries. I see Simmons books and which is amazed me when you said that. I had to look at the spine and go, there's a Simmons books. When's enough? When's enough for you?
I'm just amazed we got a free copy today.
I didn't say
I get a church
free?
what are you kidding?
I didn't say you did. No, I think that's a bad question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It is because it immediately puts a limit. It's like if you're the fastest human being on two legs and you've broken the world record and all the cameras are gone the next day, no more awards, no more girls kissing your cheeks and stuff, you know, when you cross the finish line and break the world record, will you wake up the next morning and try to break your own record when nobody's there? I'm asking you.
Probably not.
That's why you will never win.
No, I'll win because I would enjoy myself doing something else.
I didn't ask you how you feel.
Well, that's what
enjoy.
My point with the question I asked you was, when will it be enough? Because will there ever be a time where you will enjoy not having the pressure to top yourself and to make more money and be into more little industry?
You don't have the stuff, do you? The fire in the veins and the thing.
No, I do. I think I've done a pretty good job of
that's the past.
making myself successful. And my future, I do look to my future and keep continuing success in my future. I'm not doing what I used to do. I used to install air conditioning and heating ductwork for shit money.
No, you veered off the thing.
I didn't veer. I veered.
No, I didn't ask what you wanted. It's whether or not you have the fire in your veins to wake up and treat every day as if it was the only day you would have of life on Earth.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be sitting in a board meeting trying to get the next fucking product out there. It would be fucking a beautiful woman.
Right.
Or doing something. That's what I'm saying.
No,
when's enough for you as far as...
everybody decides for themselves what that thing is that gets them farther in life. Fucking a beautiful woman is not necessarily the thing, but I know what you mean. But that's why entrepreneur is an all-encompassing term. It sort of means whatever that thing is that makes that day worth living in terms of furthering you, some achievement, some mark on the earth that you've been here. Otherwise, you're just a fart that eventually dissipates and was never here.
So you enjoy doing this, though. You enjoy all the industry that has become Gene Simmons.
It's much deeper than enjoy. It's important.
Well, I think
there's a difference there.
That's correct.
Between enjoyment and importance. You're trying to create a legacy for yourself.
No. I'm trying to validate my existence, whether I enjoy it or not. In other words, if I was dirt poor, and I don't come from money or means. I couldn't even speak your language. I was beaten up on a routine basis for not being able to speak English well. And then I taught your children how to do it better in Spanish Harlem, 6th grade. The point I'm making, though, is that life is a privilege, not a birthright. Now what are you going to do with it? Whether you're poor and don't have anything, or whether you're rich and have all the world by the balls. And for the richest people in the world, including Bill Gates, who I admire, and Warren Buffett, those guys get to a point. You know what? Bill Gates said, I'm the richest man in the world, or the second richest, and I'm quitting my job, and now I'm going to get up every day and work even harder for charity, for foundations, and stuff like that. It is not the job that people want. It should be about the love of labor. There is a difference. People look at the clock because they don't enjoy the job. I enjoy the labor of it, but it's important to have labor. Even if you don't need the money, you should create work for yourself. If you don't move, your body will die.
Yeah,
you have to keep moving.
But what do you do for pleasure?
I intend on fucking your girlfriend tonight. I don't know.
Hey,
whoa, hey.
Wait a minute now.
Well, I mean that as a term of endearment.
You actually probably just met her over at Channel 11.
Who? Oh, Jill.
Yes.
Yes. No, I'm fucking with you. But the point I'm making.
All of a sudden, he looked at me with a little more respect. I liked that.
I'm not at all concerned with respect. I really am not. Because when you're running a race, everybody's going to be... The idea is, are you going to finish and get there? And you're right. I will be doing a signing at Barnes & Noble tomorrow, starting 12:30 on 57th Street. Come on down, say hello, or hurl epitaphs or other big words like gymnasium.
57th and what, though? Is that the 5th Avenue one?
Barnes & Noble on 57th and 5th, I think.
Yeah. Gene, I want to jump in because you're saying some very interesting things here. First of all, I think you being an entrepreneur is what excites you and is exciting for you, right? I don't think it's about the money anymore. I'm sure you're the type of guy that has enough money to do whatever the fuck you want.
It's such a strange, but it's more strange word. It's such a strange phrase.
Right, but it's more
enough money. What does that mean?
Well, whatever. But it's more about the game and what else you could accomplish. I think people do get caught up in the fact, like, wow, Gene's just trying to make, more money. How much fucking money? Yeah, but it's more than that.
It's your game.
You're trying to figure out what else can I do with me. Gene Simmons. And the other thing, I'm finally learning something about this guy. I think that why a lot of people are pissed off is they just want you to be Gene Simmons the rock star, which a lot of these bands are.
Rock stars are idiots.
All right,
they're morons.
But that's where the dilemma is, because you always want it to be more than the.
But that's their problem, not mine.
Than the rock star that is Gene Simmons.
But rock stars are hardly the things you should be worshiping, because they play guitar.
But you know what?
And once the guitar goes down, they're morons. They're not well read.
I understand that, but the point I'm making is you were never satisfied with just being Gene Simmons from Kiss. Not that that would be a just.
I know you find this hard, Gene. I think he's trying to compliment you.
No, I agree. I agree with what you're saying.
I'm starting to finally figure it out, and I'm starting to realize why people have a problem with you, because you want to be. Part of you wants to be like the next Bill Gates or a Warren Buffett or whatever. Okay. But there's a lot of people like, hey, man, fuck, you're just Gene Simmons to me, and I want you to sign my Kiss shit.
I don't want to just be anything.
I understand that now.
Because I can't define my life by the way somebody who doesn't have a big vision or big ambition wants to.
Right. Is there any other rock guys that are like you, as far as similar to you in the way you think? Would you put anyone in the same genre? I know you would say you're better than that.
I think Weird Al Yankovic.
I will tell you. I will tell you.
Like, who's a really good businessman outside his band or outside rock and roll?
Outside his band. Well,
that is trying to do other stuff.
Rappers have done a better job than the Pale guys because they've branded themselves off. Diddy's done very well with his clothing and some of the TV stuff, and he's got this booze, the vodka stuff, so he's done well. Although he doesn't have great people skills and doesn't speak English very well, in the accepted sense of corporate speak. And yet he surrounds himself with the right people, and I know him well enough, and a very terrific guy. But obviously, he doesn't have the gift of gab in the way that the Carters of power accept it. It's street patois.
Yeah.
But he's bright and understands that what's up isn't the entire world, and that you can take the what's upness of stuff and apply it to mass media, which is why his clothing line is not what's up or yeah baby or whatever that's called. It's Sean, right? It's Sean John. So it's much more applicable to the people who want to buy it. And I would have no problem wearing Sean John. I don't want to wear What's Up clothing.
No, I wouldn't buy anything from the What's Up line myself.
There are people who would, and that's okay, and that's what makes America great. You can buy. I'll buy Sean John. Sounds right. I'd like that. The white guys are idiots. The guys who are very bright, by the way, tend to be the British guys. Bono's very bright, very well read. And his interests lie more in humanitarian and sort of charitable, and that's terrific. He tried his hand at some sort of entrepreneurial stuff, mixed results, okay. And, the big guys, McCartney and Jagger and stuff like that, just have never been interested. They just want to go out, tour, do that stuff. That's great. Right. Not enough for me. My mind works all the time. It's not enough to go, what's the next song?
I finally get it. I got to be honest. I finally get it.
Well, it was brought out from my fantastic interview.
I think it might have
skills,
been, sure.
Opie, and
I decided to stop goofing and maybe learn something today. So.
Goofing, I think is okay. It really is. But
no, a light finally went off in my head.
But why is it when I've always been the same guy?
I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest with you. I think you want to be extremely successful. That has nothing to do with Kiss. Would be an amazing goal for you to accomplish at this point in your life.
But then never stop.
Right.
It is the hunt. It is not the kill.
Right. Every new success in your life.
Then you do something
that's an
else.
Accomplishment.
I speak a few languages. Now I want to learn to speak Mandarin.
Really?
How many languages?
That's very tough.
4 to 5.
See, that's a waste of time.
Really?
Me goofing again.
I was going to say,
wait.
and I'll validate that. No, Mandarin is a good
What languages? I'll be
it's
the
the
judge.
language of the orange.
No, what languages do you know?
Hebrew.
That's a good one, right? English.
Hungarian.
Hungarian, a little waste of a time.
Possibly.
I mean,
German.
You don't run into
German's handy.
German's good. Just understand the porn.
Business.
Yeah, the porno.
Yeah.
And every few years when they try to take over the world, it comes in handy.
The last century was not good for Germans.
No.
And a little Japanese, just enough to get by.
I think
Really?
Japanese is important. Hungarian is the one you could,
no longer.
You could get that space out of your brain.
You're like an anime character in Japan, I bet. They just look at you like,
Franz Joseph was head of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Hungarian was important, but that was only in the 1883, 1884. But then it became subjugated by the Austrians, Österreich, von der Deutsch, habe gelernt auf der Schule.
Do you like Japan?
Annexed. Wonderful people.
I'm sure
in Germany.
They
absolutely
they
have
separated
owned it.
at the Duna.
No, they should have owned it.
Yeah.
They should have owned it. Nice. Yes. All the Hungarians, please call in now.
I'm a fan of Germany.
Japan is a fascinating country.
I'm fascinated with Japan. I want to go.
Well, 80 years ago, they had nothing. Mm-hmm. They have no natural resources, and yet they went toe-to-toe against America and beat America's pants off economically around the world.
Right.
And have about half the population, and that's because they don't do... This is our permissive society. They came out from the Dark Ages. Remember, they stopped wearing kimonos only around the 1920s, and within a few years actually challenged America toe-to-toe, industrially, militarily, and otherwise. And additionally is the place outside of America where most inventions are invented. America invented flight, the light bulb, turning darkness into light, television and all the other stuff, the internet. But Japan, the robotics, the high-end stuff is all Japanese, and it's good to know Japanese, but you better learn quote Chinese.
They certainly should thank us for the Reconstruction after the war. Then
they
certainly should.
Their revisionists won't happen. They won't even confess to how
because we could have left them destitute and still trying to rebuild. But we went in there, and I don't know why we do this. Had to help them out. Let's blow them up and then build it back up so they could fuck us over later on.
Yeah.
If you read The Art of War, Sun Tzu's original book that the military, that's going to be my next book, Gene Simmons' Art of War, applying Sun Tzu's original military manual to everyday life. Your worker, your intern here who's got to negotiate with you, it's war. Men and women, it's war. And then it's the chess game of stuff. But that was one of his tenets, which is beat your enemy, but leave him a way out, build him up. Your enemy will become your closest friend. It actually works.
Yeah, it works, but then look at what happens. Now Japan beats the shit out of us economically.
No, that's okay. That just forces us to come up and get better at what we're doing. Then we invented the internet and beat them back down. No, you got to be able to.
I like a good dictatorship.
Yeah,
I'm ready. And also, if it doesn't work, you should be able to take them out.
Yeah.
Hey, Gene mentioned the Chinese. I've been saying the Chinese are coming for a very long time.
They're already there. We have some businesses, some real estate dealings in Beijing.
Do you?
And let me tell you something.
On the good side.
Yeah, what's going to happen with China?
They already overtook America in actual cash on hand. They have a few trillion cash liquid. We're at least $1 trillion or more in debt, economically, so to speak. And the good part of it is that because China has more money, cash on hand than America, they're not going to let the American system go down because they desperately need America to ship their goods to. So now we've become interdependent. Now
we need rubber dog shit.
You'd be surprised. And what's happening to America is the more and more the cost of goods goes
up. It's just
up.
funny, Gene. Do you have a sense of humor? Can't you laugh at us?
The inside.
That's a really good line.
I saw him smirk. That's
a little smirk would be nice.
Okay.
I'm smirking.
We can be funny.
Every time you want to order a new subscription to Time Magazine, the person answering on the other line is in India.
Yes.
Is in Mumbai. That's
I've
because
noticed
the cost of doing stuff here is
ridiculous.
Well, an employer hires you. He's got to pay for taxes, for the cost of rent, for the cost of goods. He's got to buy the material, ship the truck, blah, 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 hire you. Then he's got to make sure your dental cares are taken care of. When you retire, when you're off sick leave, pregnant leave, stuff like that. If there's any money left over, he's the last one to get in line. And now you're shocked that he wants to go overseas and do business over there? We go on strike and want more money from him?
You come off as a libertarian. Are you? What do you consider yourself?
Independent? I don't trust Democrats or Republicans.
Do you vote?
I do.
Okay.
I believe they're both full of hot air, and I think most Americans are like me, and I'll tell you why. Because every few years, Democrats come in and Republicans come in. I think it's about the issues. And I believe between Obama and McCain, I like both of them for different reasons. I love Obama's hope and the feel-good vibe of it. And I think I agree with his humanitarian goals and all sorts of other things. And I admire the man. And I think that he's delusional regarding the economy. I believe when Obama is going to be elected, and I believe he will be, that it's going to be disaster on Wall Street. Because
I bet your tax bracket's a little high right now, and I bet it's going to be a lot higher.
The worse you are to the people who have means, the worse you're going to hurt yourself. Be nice to rich people. When was the last time a poor person gave you a job?
Goddamn.
Yeah.
See, that's been my argument as far as Obama goes and a lot of the Democratic thinking.
And on the right, Mr. McCain, I believe, has got the right idea in terms of foreign policy. I do. I think not enough is being done over there, and I do think that he's going to be better for Wall Street. But I believe Mr. Obama is going to be coming in.
How worried about Iran are you, firing stuff at Israel?
Oh, I think this guy's going to be taken out. The idea that we waited long enough, this should have been hit squads long ago. I would do anything. What I would do is to start broadcasting reruns of Baywatch so that in that part of the world you can start watching it 24 hours a day and realize that women are allowed to have 2 eyebrows, not just one.
Do you think he's a real threat, or is he posturing?
That was a pretty decent joke, and you guys didn't like. See, like 1, 2.
It's good.
Is he posturing though, just for his? Is he trying to just appease clerics and that radical?
Ahmadinejad is the real thing. He's the real thing. A tiger with the right stripes. He says what he means, and he means what he says.
Isn't it interesting, though, that he can wait until Israel pulls the trigger first? He can build up a threat enough to where it looks like Israel is instigating by maybe going in and doing a preemptive strike on the nuclear facilities.
The great thing about this little country is they don't care what world opinion is. You got to understand, in 1982, if you're a student of history, these guys sent a missive to... at the time, Mr. Hussein, who was in charge of Iraq because he was building nuclear reactors, and they said to him in no uncertain terms, kindly remove these nuclear reactors. I know you're going to go through I'm building it for peace, but we can't let you do that. And if you don't do it, we're going to take it out. We're going to send our planes and take it out. But we don't want to go to war. You have 3 weeks, and on the dawn of the blah, blah, blah of a certain day, if you don't do it, our planes will come. He ignored it. The UN told Israel you can't do that. They were loudly, every editorial in every Western country said they were full of shit and all this stuff. On the dawn, planes came out, Israeli planes, crossed international lines, broke every law in the book, took out, attacked, invaded, act of war, took out those nuclear reactors and went back and said, okay, you want to go to war? Let's go to war now. We'd rather fight a ground war than a nuclear war. And then it went away. And it happened again in Syria just a few months ago. Syria's doing North Korean rods, and they were going to build nuclear weapons, and Israel sent planes, took out that facility. Nobody said a word. Not a single Arab country stood up and said they did this, they did that, because they knew Syria was trying to get
Iran's
nuclear.
A little more of a contender here.
Maybe they're just firing it, though. The same as Kim Jong-il, who was kind of talking a lot of shit to keep he was a little worried about the U.S. Maybe they're just kind of firing those to prevent Israel from attacking them.
The problem is that North Korea is starving and was making a deal. We need your money. We're going to...
Yeah, that's all they had to bargain with.
That's it.
Was
Iran
disaster and anarchy.
Very well off, very rich in oil, and has its own infrastructure and doesn't need the rest of the world, and that's a very dangerous spot. I think Israel, pushed to the wall, would strike first without hesitation?
Those Israelis
Would they go nuclear in a heartbeat?
Yeah.
You know why? Because at the shortest distance, their border is 75 miles wide, and they know there's no second chance. The only thing that's kept this country alive, you got to remember, 300 million people who aren't crazy about you being here, surrounding a small country of about 7 million, I believe. I don't care what your political side is, this, rights, this, or this little country will not back off. And they don't have any problems going nuclear.
What just did they just get knocked out of Lebanon? There was something that just happened in Lebanon.
Well, besides Hariri and all the other guys getting assassinated, is that what you mean?
Well, I mean, wasn't there just Israeli tanks in Lebanon? I actually don't know.
In an incursion, yeah, they went out to take some guys who were launching. Then they came back in,
and that was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were using Hezbollah was using Lebanon as like a staging ground. Yeah,
you realize the world's a better place now. There's no communist menace and no Nazis and all that because of America.
Yeah, well, apparently that's a little underappreciated, especially in Europe and the rest of the...
Let's just save the world. America's not the police of the world. Really? And who is the police of the world? France?
Yeah, but you can't sell that point. People don't... You get an opinion of the United States, especially now. It's not very good worldwide.
I know that. But all you need is a new
threat.
Need new leadership that's got a better PR thing, because people react not to anything more than personas. It's the cult of personality. And when they like your leader, they're not really aware of what the exchange rates are, and and what you ship, what you take in, and they're not aware of most. They just watch it on TV, and they either like Condoleezza Rice or they don't. And it's all about imagery, because the rest of us, all we know about is how much money we make, what do we take home, and who am I going to pork tonight. That's about it. And they're not really aware of foreign policy. They react to personalities. And Gene Simmons, some people like me, some people don't. But the masses seem to like me a lot, because our cable show, Gene Simmons' Family Jewels on A&E, about to start its 4th and 5th season, is their #1 show. And our books sell by everybody. Our tours sell out everywhere. So if people seem to think that I'm such a bad guy, who are these other millions of people?
No, they kind of want to hug you and punch you at the same time.
They're allowed to hug me, and they're allowed to take the first shot, but I'm allowed to respond.
That's came in a few times there, Jay. It's like, God damn it, this guy, I hate him an hour ago, now I want to hug him. So that's out there all over the place.
How was it? I gotta, because roasting Gene was you think.
Can I take a bite?
Sure, you can have the whole thing. I'll actually share it with you if you want. How was it sitting there?
With where?
At the roast for the comedians. Was it difficult at all?
Well, it wasn't difficult until my son Nick, 6'7", came on, and then he started to take his own shots.
He was funny. He had good comic timing. It wasn't their Gene's, let's give polite laughs because it's Gene's son. It was actually, the material is funny and his delivery is good.
He says something about Gene Simmons has a big ego, something or other, and I'd like to introduce you to Gene Simmons' biggest fan. There he is, Gene Simmons.
Yeah, he was really good. And you said something to him, and he's like, "Just shut up." He's really funny. I mean, he really people quite enjoyed him.
And then he said, "Can you say inheritance?" Something like that.
Are you a tough father?
Yes. They both Sophie and Nick. There's no hitting. Hitting lasts a little time. That doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Both Sophie and Nick are straight A students. There's no cursing allowed. The dogs won't bark. It's a real strict household. If I catch your ass once, drunk or high, you'll find yourself in the middle of the desert in a work camp. I'm very serious.
Do you think they have drank?
No.
At all?
No.
Not even a little, nothing?
No, they'll call me from a party. Nick will say, "Can you please come and pick me up? Friends are starting to drink."
Really?
Yeah. And
can I ask you something? And why so strict on the drinking? Did something happen when you were growing up or something?
To me, no. I've never been high. But
no, but I mean, you are extremely I mean, if one of your children have a drink, that is going to set you over the edge. Like you don't want them to even be social drinkers, a glass of wine or nothing. Where does that come from?
Well, it's a waste of time. It doesn't work. It doesn't have vitamins, minerals. Doesn't make you smarter. There's no upside. Nothing. You're not going to see anything witty. Sooner or later, you're going to throw up on the girl's shoe. Later on that night, your schmeckle's not going to work. The next day, you won't remember anything, and you'll have a headache. And how do you win?
Oh, what a great night that sounds like.
No, let me try that again.
Hey, can you talk to Anthony, please?
What?
But here's what it is. You know the old story of, as long as you live under my roof, and it is my roof. There ain't no our.
Sure.
These are my rules. And once you're out on your own, you're on your own. And
but will you still have a relationship with them when they leave the house and they decide to go down that road?
Under certain provisos. The subject twos are, if you don't become a mass murderer, if you don't rob a bank, if you don't become a drunken fool and stuff like that. I'll always be there. But if you transgress, see, birth is not a birthright. It's a privilege. Somebody has given you life. And if you take advantage of that, like I watch Intervention on A&E, one of my favorite shows, these fucking losers and their families, they're fucking loser families because they allow this behavior. You know, let me give you a for instance. Your dog is eating at its bowl, and there's always some little fucking brat that screams and rants and raves and wrinkles paper just like the way your guys do when I'm on the air. And that little brat crawls over, 2 years old, and puts its hand in the dog bowl while the dog is eating. The dog will, of course, snap at the kid. That's the last time that kid will put its hand in the dog bowl. Now, if your dog knows how to raise your kid, how come you don't? Mm-hmm. The dog has no problem setting the laws straight. If your kid puts its hand in fire, it gets burned. Not the third time, not a 3-strike law. That very first time, it's going to burn it exactly the same way as the third time. This is the permissive society, and the reason we're all going to hell is because we've allowed it. The reason there are drug dealers on the street instead of public executions, which I would put there, is because we allow it. And then we wonder, why is crack in our neighborhood? Because we allow these shitheads to live there.
Right.
They should be taken out.
Do you get pissed off at Kiss shows then, looking at your audience?
No.
Because they're all just hammered, enjoying the tunes?
You're allowed to lead your life your way, but I'm not interested in the whining.
Right. Now, and is it true that your kids have to make their own money?
Yes.
Maybe too personal, I'm sorry, but...
Not at all. My life's an open book.
Yeah. But you have confidence, and you'll give them all the tools, and you have, I'm sure you have confidence that they're going to just be amazing in the business world if that's what they choose.
Sure, but the idea that your mom and dad give you, what's the weekly salary?
Allowance?
I've never given that, not a penny.
I never got allowance.
No. For what? Go do something, and then you negotiate a price. There's, I want to clean up my room, give me $10. What?
Right.
$10 for cleaning my room?
Right.
Cook me a meal too. Maybe that's $10.
What do you guys do for fun as a family?
Pardon my interruption. Is this asshole really going to run for Senate, Ventura? Is this fucking asshole really going to run for Senate?
We should tell Gene we had an extremely intense interview with Mr. Ventura.
Why? What happened?
He's just a dick.
9/11 shit.
He's a conspiracy theorist, a big dope. His big dumb mouth.
He's convinced, well, maybe Gene's convinced, who knows, but whatever, we'll go with it. He's convinced that...
Building 7 had explosives in it.
Yeah.
You could see I was a Navy SEAL, I knew what... That was his whole rap.
You can't do that.
No,
he did.
That was his whole rap.
And we're like, he really
what?
believed that
what?
We brought the buildings down.
It's like, it doesn't make more sense.
I guess we sank our own ships at Pearl Harbor so we can get into war.
Well, people thought that
we try to explain to them, like, you don't even know the Twin Towers. People are working every day. They didn't notice anybody, like, setting the building to collapse. But you would notice.
Why would we do that, though?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
His head is moving. Does he have Parkinson's?
No, because she's probably, hopefully, this thing.
Oh, no, it's not now. Okay.
Probably challenging him. I don't know. But he said some crazy shit, and Jimmy and him went at it, man.
Some people can't accept the fact that we are not liked, especially in that part of the world. And the people that didn't like us came over here and punched us in the eye. They want to think, it was our government. They love conspiracies, some kind of mystery, something to solve. No. It's people that hate us. Came over here for whatever reason.
Using politically correct language because when you really want to say is extremists.
Yeah.
The Swiss have been good this year,
Animals.
so it ain't the Swiss.
Savages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Savages.
I thought you guys were going to get at me more. Like I'm just sitting here.
No. We something? I like just bullshitting with you about anything.
And you're right. And you're right. 12:30 to when is it? Friday. I'm doing a book signing. Because some of you guys tune in late.
Yep.
At Barnes & Noble on 57th. And you're welcome to come down with your Kiss books. No, you're not.
And 57th and 5th at 12:30.
Yeah, now that we all are getting along, why not? Just sign a few Kiss things.
Sure, I'm happy to do that, but not there. If you see me on the street before, I'm happy to sign for it. Not the vultures.
Gene, I know we're wrapping up, but I got to play something for you. Somebody is making money off you. And I got a copy of it.
What?
I know you got to leave in a minute or two.
I don't have a clue. I hope somebody's keeping track.
I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting to play this for you, and I think you should go after this guy.
Sure.
Because he's making money off one of your songs.
Sure.
All right, here it is.
Beth, I hear you calling, but I can't come home right now. 'Cause me and the boys are doing some radio, and I can't find the sound. Thank you.
Now, what would you do if you found that guy?
What would I do? Well, I always hated that song. So
There you go.
Did you really?
Peter was sitting with me in the limo. We were driving to Flint, Michigan. It's a true story. And we were going to go do a show. 2 shows sold out. It was a big deal in the 1800s. And, Peter can't write songs. It was his friend Stan Penridge and a guy named Bob Ezrin who produced. But anyway, Peter got writing credit. And he goes, Beck, I hear you calling. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. I go, what's that? What's that thing? He goes, I wrote this. Come on, you didn't write this. Stan Penridge wrote it. Yeah, and it goes like this. Beck, I hear you calling. That's pretty good. You should sing it to Bob Ezrin, our producer. Give me that fucking thing. I should give it to Bob Ezrin, our producer, because he might like it. It could be on our next record and stuff. Destroyer. Really? Yeah, but the Beck thing doesn't work. Beck, I hear you call. You should get rid of that. How about Beth? Otherwise, they'll think you're in love with Jeff Beck. Because Beck was for Becky. Beck, I hear you calling. So it didn't work. Beck, I hear you. So I suggested you get rid of the k and Beth, I hear you. That sounds better. And that's the story of Beth. But he didn't write it.
Wow.
Peter doesn't play a musical instrument. He's a sweet guy. We love him. But that's a guy named Stan Penridge, and Bob Ezrin wrote the middle section.
Have you ever told this story before?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I hope we make some headlines today.
Scoop?
Why not?
Can I say that I understand the writing with Peter's new solo album is out?
No. Look, it's not if you like a record or not. It's just the process. I've written some stinkers, but I actually write songs. You pick up an instrument, you do a melody, a lyric. That's writing.
Yeah, he's not even doing that.
No. Peter's great guy. Wish him the best, but he didn't write Beth, and to presuppose that he did.
That version of Beth was done by Lil Jimmy Norton.
They just asked me to play something. I did the best I could. I was nervous.
But the keyboard work was pretty damn good.
I felt that my musical ability kind of covered up
That
for
is Jimmy playing the keyboard. Yes,
that's pretty good.
We happen to have a piano in that day.
An upright, as a matter of
Yeah, I
fact.
figured you take it. You
Was it an upright?
What's that?
An upright, right?
Upright piano?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it was. Yes.
Sure.
Well, it didn't have the depth of the low sound.
No.
Yeah, I was injured.
We got to get Gene out of here. He's got to do something else. But Gene, this was I like this. I like this one.
You did, huh?
Yeah.
Where are those beeps and things? You finally figured out how to turn them off.
I was fucking with you. Is that all right?
They went away.
I knew it.
I was fucking with you. I remember from last time. You don't like noises in the studio.
I do when I'm not here.
This guy barely smiles, Ant. He barely smiles, this guy.
He only laughs on his way to the bank. That's the way.
Well, you do
all
smile.
the way.
What does the family do for fun?
True.
What was the last thing you guys did as a family?
My son Nick, so help me God, is in the Bahamas right now with 20 models.
And he's not drinking.
No, he doesn't. That's why all the chicks will be around him. See, that's why even he wins. While all the rest of the guys get sloppy, my son, the light from heaven will shine down on him, and they will realize, here is the answer to our dreams. A guy who isn't stupid we can actually hang with, who's actually charming and polite. That's why he wins.
All right. With that, it's Ladies of the Night. Talking about prostitutes, Gene Simmons, right?
Anything else Ladies of the Night.
Well, you got to give the big plug. We haven't mentioned the book in like 20 minutes.
Well, you're right.
30 minutes.
12:30, I'll be at Barnes & Noble tomorrow. We love you, but Barnes & Noble is not going to allow you to do the KISS stuff there. And if that's a reason why you're not going to come, then please don't. I don't want to upset Barnes & Noble. They're there for one reason, which is to push Ladies of the Night, and I'm happy to be there. So come on by and say hello.
All right, very good. And GeneSimmons.com.
That's right.
And Family Jewels.
And Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. Sounds better.
And do the franchise thing. I think that's going to be the TV show we can't talk about, which I think is a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, TV shows are little. It's the actual, implementation of that actually brings in.
Don't go with 100 though. It won't be as special.
Okay, let me do it from a qualified person. What's the number?
I don't know the number, but
have you ever done this before? I mean, you know about the franchise?
It's a feel I got. To be honest,
a feel.
I think
100 globally, though. Think about it.
It's 100 globally. All right, let's go with this.
But this is the qualification. A feel. Have you ever been involved in franchising?
Well, I do well with our WOW T-shirts.
Let me get back to you on that.
Really though, you really think like 100 Kiss bands around around the world?
No, we're just having a conversation. You said, would I have a problem with that?
I think it would be special the smaller the number.
Look, if you have a band, there are band like Kiss just did 2.5 months in Europe. America's oblivious to that. Mm-hmm. The world is such a big place. You could have 100, you could have 1,000 bands touring around the world, and nobody would know.
Let's go with 10.
Based on what?
Just it's a good number.
It's a
good round number.
It's a feel good number.
Because you gotta know all the guys' names.
No, you don't.
You're not even going to give them names?
Large corporation.
No,
it's just
unknown.
People on the payroll.
Wait, how are they going to be
Blue
unknown?
Man Group. You don't want to know who they are.
Oh, because the makeup will say it all, obviously.
That's right.
Yeah.
Invisible. But I'm not saying it's real.
I love the concept.
They're actually going to walk up on stage and punch the old-time clocks when they go up there.
Well, you do.
Get paid by the hour.
People don't realize when U2 or the Stones, you have a punch at 9 o'clock. You get up on stage, and you have to get off at 11 o'clock.
Right.
Okay.
It's going to cost you money.
You challenge me franchising. Look what happened to Starbucks because they overextended, my friend. You don't want to overextend.
It's not Starbucks. You got it wrong. It's the economy. There was a downturn in the...
Stop, man. There's a Starbucks there and one right across the street. That got insane.
Correct.
Their eyes got too big.
No,
you think brings the coffee grounds
the business
there.
Model the business model was correct. The economy was unforeseen. It just took a dumper, but it'll come back up.
Well,
and as it comes up...
Because they're going to be closing thousands of stores, and I don't want Gene Simmons to shut down thousands of Kiss bands.
600 Starbucks they have to close.
600?
Yeah.
All right, let's go with 10 bands worldwide.
Is this
I want a piece of the action now because I suggested it.
Have you got 2 tenths for a 5?
Just a small piece, a small percentage. Just give me a point. Not even just like a little bit.
How about no?
Does it bother you?
All right, I'll just come back stronger.
Does it bother you at all that you guys aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
No, honestly.
Nothing.
I don't recognize... I mean, it's wonderful for the bands to be there, but it's really not even rock and roll. I think Madonna's in there, and rappers and all kinds of stuff. It's not a rock and roll Hall of Fame.
Grandmaster Flash.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, it's all or Freaky John or Cypress Hill or somebody.
Yeah.
But the point is that it's not really an American Hall of Fame because nobody votes. It's backroom politics. They have like 10 guys who decide who goes in and who's not, and that's it. Nobody asks you, the masses, nothing.
I don't think the rock fans even take it seriously at this point. They see how ridiculous it is.
Nothing bad to say about it. I'm happy for everybody that's in there, but they can kiss my ass.
You guys should be in. You guys should be in though. It's something. I mean, I railed against them for a long time because Sabbath wasn't in, and you guys should definitely be in. Bands like Motorhead should be in. I mean, there's bands that contributed. To
when you see Etta James is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I don't even know who Etta James is.
At last, my love's come and gone. My lonely days are over.
Don't know.
See? That's Etta James.
You're gonna owe,
but that's the point.
You're gonna
it wasn't rock and roll.
You owe Etta James
some royalty money now for singing.
You just lost a couple.
At last.
All right, we gotta get. You're late.
Yeah.
For your next thing.
Gene, thank you.
Gene Simmons. The book is called Ladies of the Night. Quick break, and then we'll come back with Line of the Day. Stay there.